North Korea yet again sent trash-carrying balloons into the south on Wednesday, one of which landed in the presidential compound. The number of births went up for the second straight month in May, with the number of marriages also on an upward trend. Downpours continued overnight, resulting in a series of floods and road closures, particularly in Busan and Gangwon-do province. An extreme heat wave is likely to follow the rain. It's July 24th, 6 p.m. in Seoul. This is Newscenter. Thank you for joining us. I'm Yoon Jung-min. A balloon carrying trash sent by North Korea landed in South Korea's presidential compound earlier today. The top office says it understands the seriousness of this latest incident. Our defense correspondent Choi Min-jung stirs us off.
North Korea sent a 10th round of trash-carrying balloons to the south on Wednesday, and one of them landed within the compound of South Korea's presidential office. The Presidential Security Service said nothing dangerous was found after an investigation by its response team. But a presidential official said that the office is aware of the seriousness. The official added that the exact location of the balloon was tracked in real time before it dropped, and that it's monitoring the situation in cooperation with the Joint Chiefs of Staff. The military has been refraining from shooting the balloons down in mid-air to prevent their contents from spreading and causing further damage. Since late May, North Korea sent more than 3,000 trash balloons to the south in protest against anti-Pyongyang leaflet campaigns by North Korean defectors in the south. And the provocations continue despite South Korea resuming full-scale propaganda loudspeaker broadcasts along the entire border for the fourth day in a row on Wednesday. The North appears to have begun blasting buzzing sounds through its loudspeakers as well to prevent North Korean soldiers and residents from hearing the South's propaganda broadcasts. Choi Min-jung, Arirang News.
Defense Minister Shin Won-sik reiterated the military's firm readiness against any possible North Korean provocations, including potential attacks on places in the south where civic groups sent leaflets to the north. Our correspondent Kim Jong-sil reports.
South Korean Defense Minister Shin Won-sik said the military was closely monitoring North Korea for signs of any possible attack, including gunfire, against places where South Korean civic groups sent leaflets to the north. In an interview with Japan's Yomiuri Shimbun, Minister Shin said the military would take immediate, strong, and till-the-end action and vowed to retaliate against the North's provocations. His response followed escalating threats from Kim Yo-jong, the North Korean leader's sister, who hinted last week at taking a different approach if South Korean leaflets continued.
If North Korea engages in gunfire, it would essentially be like a wartime scenario. It would be considered an attack on South Korea territory, which, as the defense minister already mentioned, would lead to an immediate, strong counter-response from our side, followed by retaliation from the North.
It's evident these levels of confrontations must be avoided. However, if they do occur, it won't be the first time. In 2014, North Korea fired an anti-aircraft gun toward balloons sent by South Korean civic groups from the border county of Yeoncheon. The North also fired at loudspeakers in the same county in 2015.
What's different from 2015 and 2024 is that North Korea now has a working nuclear device. So they might be emboldened to take these kinds of actions. That's why we need to be very vigilant and be aware of all the possibilities that face us.
Experts also advise South Korean civic groups, mostly consisting of North Korean defectors, to avoid publicizing their plans and locations for sending leaflets to the north in advance, which some of them did in the past to get media attention. Experts say it's also important to let the North know that a significant number of ROK-U.S. forces are currently deployed to deter any misguided action. In hindsight, they urged both sides to be very careful not to get involved in unintended and accidental conflicts. Kim Jong-sil, Arirang News.
One day after the People Power Party's national convention, President Yoon Suk-yeol has invited the newly elected ruling party's leadership for dinner this evening, as well as the other candidates who ran in the leadership election. An official at the top office said on Wednesday that dinner was proposed by President Yoon during his congratulatory phone call with Han Dong-hoon, the new chair. From the top office, senior secretaries and above are set to join. Earlier in the afternoon, the president's senior secretary for political affairs, Hong Chul-ho, visited Han on behalf of President Yoon at the National Assembly, where he reiterated the president's words on the administration and the ruling PPP becoming one team to carry out policies for the people. In other news, the number of births went up for the second straight month in May, with the number of marriages on an upward trend. Our Lee Soo-jin explains.
The number of births in South Korea rose on year for the second month in a row in May. Data from Statistics Korea Wednesday shows that there were 19,547 births, a 2.7% increase compared to the same month last year. This marks the first time since November 2015 that the country has seen on-year increases in the number of births for the second consecutive month. The agency mainly attributed the rise to a base effect from low birth rates the previous year, as well as an upward trend in the number of marriages from August 2022 to the first half of 2023. But the number of births itself remains relatively low, as the second lowest figure on record after dropping to the lowest ever for the month of May last year. The number of deaths dropped 1.2% on year but remained high at 28,546 due to the aging population, bringing the natural decline in population to nearly 9,000. The number of divorces dropped 5.6% on year to nearly 8,000, while there was an uptick in the number of marriages. The number of marriages rose, surging 21.6% on year, which an official from the agency said was the largest increase for the month of May on record.
By region, Daejeon saw the highest increase in the number of births, and this was most likely due to subsidies for married couples. But other regions across the nation, other than Daejeon City, also saw rises.
The agency said that while further observations are needed, as of now it expects the nation to continue seeing increases in the number of births and marriages in the latter half of the year. Lee Soo-jin, Arirang News.
On the tech front, American tech firm Nvidia has granted the green light for the use of Samsung's fourth-generation high-bandwidth memory chip, the HBM3, in its graphics processing units. Now, this is according to sources speaking to Reuters in an exclusive report that was published on Wednesday. Details have yet to be disclosed, but as of now, it has been revealed that the chips will be used in the H20, the graphics processing unit developed for the Chinese market, in line with Washington's export controls. In the U.S., Vice President Kamala Harris held her first presidential campaign rally in Wisconsin, asking her crowd to choose between a country of freedom and a country of fear. Lee Sing-jae has more.
U.S. Vice President Kamala Harris earlier this week locked in her nomination support from Democrats, days after President Joe Biden dropped out of the running for a second term. On Tuesday, Harris took part in her first campaign rally in the battleground state of Wisconsin, where she criticized former President Donald Trump and asked voters to choose between freedom or chaos.
What kind of country do we want to live in? A country, and to your point, do we want to live in a country of freedom, compassion, and rule of law, or a country of chaos, fear, and hate?
Harris also cited her past career as an attorney general and a prosecutor, saying that she's dealt with perpetrators of all kinds before referring to Trump.
Before I was elected vice president, before I was elected United States Senator, I was elected Attorney General of the state of California, and I was a courtroom prosecutor before then. And in those roles, I took on perpetrators of all kinds. Predators who abused women, fraudsters who ripped off consumers, cheaters who broke the rules for their own gain. So hear me when I say, I know Donald Trump's type.
Actor George Clooney, who has been a longtime supporter of the Democratic Party, has expressed his support for Harris. In a statement to CNN on Tuesday, Clooney called Harris's bid for presidency historic, adding that Biden has shown what true leadership is by making the decision to drop out of the race to save democracy. Clooney, who has long been an influential figure among Democrat backers in Hollywood last week, expressed concerns over Biden's ability to lead the country for another 4 years. Riding on the wave of support, the U.S. vice president was seen leading against Trump in a recent poll. According to a poll conducted on Monday and Tuesday by Reuters, Harris leads Trump by 2%, having received 44% support from the survey participants. While other polls have shown two potential candidates neck and neck, this latest poll is the first to show Harris's lead over Trump. As Harris looks to continue to convince Americans that she could lead the country as the first female president, President Biden is set to address the nation on Wednesday. According to the president on X, his White House address will include plans on what lies ahead and how he plans to finish the remainder of his term. 이승재, Arirang News.
Seoul's top diplomat to Washington says close aides to former President Donald Trump have acknowledged the importance of the South Korea-U.S. alliance. According to Ambassador Cho Hyun-dong on Tuesday in Washington, D.C., officials at the Republican National Convention last week clarified that the America First campaign does not mean America alone and that the U.S. would continue to cooperate closely with its allies should the Trump administration regain the reins of the White House. Cho also claimed there was strong emphasis on the significance of Seoul's alliance with Washington. Torrential rain continued overnight, causing floods and road blockages. Meanwhile, high temperatures are likely to follow the rain due to the overlaps of anticyclones. Lee Si-gu explains.
Overnight, heavy downpours hit across South Korea. In the southeastern regions of Busan and Gyeongsang-namdo province, over 80 millimeters of rain per hour was recorded in certain areas. The total overnight rainfall in Busan stood at 171 millimeters, necessitating rescue efforts for those stuck in buildings that quickly flooded. Over 88 millimeters of rain per hour fell in the northern regions of Gangwon-do province. The region also had landslides and road blockages. In Chungcheongbuk-do province, a man was found dead after being lost in the flood. Meanwhile, the capital region saw heavy torrential rain from early morning. This led to the closure of certain parts of the Olympic Daedo, an 8-lane highway in central Seoul, due to the rising water levels of the Hangang River. The road remained closed from 10 in the morning to around 1 in the afternoon. Jamsu Bridge, which crosses the river, was also closed to both cars and pedestrians. Seoul's Disaster Safety Measures headquarters asked residents to check the traffic situation ahead and use public transport if possible. Beginning at 10 in the morning, heat wave warnings began to be spread across the Korean peninsula, except for in selected mountainous regions of Gangwon and Jeju. The warning is given when the feels-like temperature of the day exceeds or is expected to exceed 33 degrees Celsius. It's expected South Korea will be under the warnings for some time. According to the Korea Meteorological Administration on Wednesday, this is caused by the overlap of a North Pacific anticyclone and a Tibetan anticyclone that locks up heat and does not allow it to escape. Lee Si-gu, Arirang News.
South Korean makeup products are enjoying record-high levels of global popularity. According to data from the Ministry of SMEs and Startups on Wednesday, exports of domestic cosmetics from SMEs rose by 30.8% between January and June this year compared to last year. This is the highest export value on record for this period. The ministry has pledged to boost the cosmetics industry and aims to reach $10 billion in makeup exports from SMEs by 2027. It's also setting up a K-Beauty Creator Challenge, giving marketing and export strategy consulting. Last year, the K-pop industry achieved a milestone with overseas sales surpassing 1 trillion won or $700 million for the first time. The Korea Culture and Tourism Institute revealed on Wednesday that in 2023, overseas sales by the K-pop industry reached an all-time high with an approximately 34% increase from the previous year. Overseas performance revenue was the primary contributing factor, accounting for nearly half of total sales. The remainder were derived from exports of physical albums and international streaming services. South Korea is ranked joint third on the global passport power list this year, with visa-free travel to 191 countries for its holders. According to the Henley Passport Index 2024, put together by the London-based investment migration consultancy Henley and Partners released on Tuesday, South Korea ranks third along with Austria, Finland, the Republic of Ireland, Luxembourg, the Netherlands, and Sweden. The South Korean passport was third last year, but second the year before. Lacquerware is a decorative craftwork using shells on the surface of wood. Through a special exhibition held in Korea, visitors can come to enjoy the various artworks of the 3 East Asian countries. Our An Song-jin was there to check it out.
Every 2 years, the National Museum of Korea, the Tokyo National Museum of Japan, and the National Museum of China host special exhibitions to appreciate each other's cultures and promote friendship among the 3 neighboring countries. The exhibition takes place by rotating between the 3 host nations, and this year it's being held in Seoul. The theme of this year's exhibition is lacquerware. Here you can see nearly 50 pieces that show the difference in lacquerware across East Asia. Lacquerware displayed in the exhibition brings in pieces from the 14th to 19th centuries. All 3 nations have their own distinctive style.
It's easier to see it as 3 exhibitions that make one huge exhibition. Without being biased towards any one country, all 3 get to share their own lacquerware culture.
Korean lacquerware, known as chilgi, or more specifically najeon chilgi, is known for its mother-of-pearl style, from decorative pieces to household items and furniture.
Mother-of-pearl lacquerware is known all over the world, so I chose it as a piece that represents Korea. It's made with high-quality mother-of-pearl and thick pearl color shells, which add value to it.
It has shells and turtle shell embellishments on woodwork to create various floral patterns. Unlike Korea, which focused on mother-of-pearl lacquerware, Japan and China have worked on lacquerware techniques. Japanese makia lacquerware had its decorative technique where it added gold or silver powder onto lacquer designs, which gives it 3-dimensional patterns. China is centered on carved lacquerware, giving dimensions to flat wooden artwork and adding multiple colors through embossing and gluing.
I've taken Korean and East Asian history classes at school and wanted to see how lacquerware differs between the 3 countries. It's more than just black woodwork with shells, as I thought they would be.
The exhibition will run until September 22nd, allowing visitors to enjoy the elegant beauty of various lacquerware pieces. An Song-jin, Arirang News.
Moving on to the upcoming Paris Olympics, Korean swimmers are aiming high as their games begin this Saturday. Choi Soo-young has more.
The 2024 Paris Olympics will feature 35 events in swimming, the second most of the field athletics. Currently, South Korea is experiencing a renaissance in men's swimming, with stars such as Kim Woo-min and Hwang Sun-woo leading a golden generation aiming for their best ever performance in this Olympics. Kim Woo-min, a strong contender for the gold medal in the 400-meter freestyle, is one of the leaders. At the Tokyo Olympics, he only competed in the men's 800-meter freestyle relay with disappointing results. However, this time in Paris, he feels different. Kim is excited and looking forward to the competition with the major goal of breaking records as well as the gold medal. The men's 400-meter freestyle begins on the 27th. Another star, Hwang Sun-woo, will compete in 4 events: the men's 100-meter and 200-meter freestyle, the 400-meter individual medley, and the 800-meter freestyle relay. Hwang has won medals in the 200-meter freestyle at 3 consecutive World Championships. He is determined to perform well in the 200-meter race starting on the 28th.
In the 200-meter freestyle, I'm very close to winning a medal, and I'm really eager to win an Olympic medal in this event.
The team event, the 800-meter freestyle relay, is also a highlight. Team Korea finished 13th in the preliminaries in the 2020 Tokyo Olympics. However, in the last year's Hangzhou Asian Games, led by Kim and Hwang, the golden generation set a new Asian record and won the gold medal. This has raised expectations for the team event, which includes 6 members: Lee Ho-jun, Kim Young-hyun, Lee Yu-yeon, and Yang Jae-hoon, along with Kim and Hwang.
We're focusing a lot on the 800-meter freestyle relay. The 6 of us are working well together on strategies and race planning to show great performances and results in Paris.
In Paris, Team Korea is looking forward to strong swimming performances from the golden generation in this new era. Cha Seung-hyun, Arirang News.
There was a tropical night phenomenon last night with temperatures above 25 degrees Celsius. And today the heat did not cool down with temperatures exceeding 30 degrees across the country. Tomorrow you'll have to prepare for the Chungbok heat that will be worse than today. Daytime temperature in Seoul will soar to 33 degrees along with most parts of the country. Typhoon Kemi is expected to make landfall tomorrow in inland areas in China after passing Taiwan. It will not have a direct impact on Korea, but strong showers and severe heat are expected due to the steam brought by the typhoon. Tomorrow morning will start off at least 25 degrees all over the country. It will move up to 33 in Seoul and Chuncheon, Daegu and Gyeongju 35 degrees. There will be a lot of heavy showers everywhere for the rest of the week. A heat wave of around 33 degrees in Seoul will continue until the day after tomorrow. That's all for Korea. Here are the weather conditions around the world. That is Newscenter for tonight. Thank you for watching. A panel session coming up.